Obviously, the biggest benefit today, as we know, is AI. Two most popular letters on the planet right now.
Absolutely.
And, I think everyone's realizing that without getting their data into the cloud, they can't get AI to reason over it. So it's a big, big driver, in addition to historically just the cost saving.
Welcome to the Microsoft Cloud Executive Enablement Series, where we speak with Microsoft Cloud senior leaders and experts about the latest trends and technologies we're seeing in the market. The goal of this series is to share with you and your teams our perspective on the business value driven by the Microsoft Cloud for our mutual customers, and the opportunities for our partners to grow their business with Microsoft.
Hello, and thank you for joining us. Welcome to the Microsoft Cloud Executive Enablement Series and our session today on the advantages of running SAP in the Microsoft platform. My name is Amy Boyle, and I'm a director in the Global Partner Enablement team here at Microsoft. I'm joined today by Cyril Belikoff, General Manager of Worldwide Go-to-Market Marketing for Azure and Industry Clouds. And today we're thrilled to discuss the exciting advantages of running SAP on the Microsoft Azure platform. This collaboration presents a unique opportunity for Microsoft and our partners to assist our customers in fast-tracking their journey to innovation through a migrate to innovate approach. We will also share our focal points for the Azure and SAP partnership this fiscal year, along with the fresh investments we've put in place to empower our partners to achieve success. So before we get started, Cyril, please tell us just a little bit about yourself, your background, and your role at Microsoft.
Yeah, thank you. It's great to be here and to share things with our partners. Very exciting. I've been at Microsoft a while in different roles and leadership positions across marketing and sales. My current portfolio is essentially Azure and industry go-to-market marketing, where we look at the industry and what our customers' needs are and help them achieve their goals.
So before we get started talking about running SAP workloads on Azure, let's first take a step back and talk about some of those underlying drivers for shifting SAP to the cloud.
Yeah, it's a great question. And it's not very different from the general cloud opportunity for our customers. Many of them have their on-premise systems that have been running for 20 years or so, and their data is locked in silos. And the opportunity for them is to shift that to the cloud and leverage modern security and agility that they need. And particularly the business leaders are really pushing them to turn down their data centers, get rid of their data centers, reduce those costs, and get the benefits of the cloud. Obviously, the biggest benefit today, as we know, is AI. Two most popular letters on the planet right now.
Absolutely.
And, I think everyone's realizing that without getting their data into the cloud, they can't get AI to reason over it. So it's a big, big driver, in addition to historically just the cost saving.
Yeah, between that data, the security, and just now, obviously, the opportunities with AI.
Right.
So,
The fact that many companies are operating outdated systems and expensive systems today, and their over-provisioned data centers are being scrutinized by their executives. What's more, those business leaders are continually looking to improve security vulnerabilities and deliver business results more effectively. The traditional on-prem systems that we've had for decades now lack the speed and agility, with data stuck in silos, resulting in lack of critical real-time insights. Of all the business challenges, organizations are looking to migrate their SAP workloads to the cloud, not to only meet demands of the businesses, but to innovate for the future.
So let's then talk a little bit about SAP migration. Can you just highlight some of the recent industry developments and explain how Azure's collaboration with SAP underscores its leadership in the cloud-based SAP market?
Yeah, great. There's still more than 30,000 SAP customers on premises who are trying to figure out their path to the cloud. And especially with SAP S/4HANA, by 2027, the end of support milestone is really, a big driving factor for them. And with our 30-year strategic partnership with SAP, longer than my career at Microsoft, more customers choose and favor SAP and Azure than not. And so even SAP and Microsoft run their internal business practices on SAP and Azure. And so this represents a massive opportunity ahead for us and our partners. In addition, the SAP partnership includes new collaboration with all our AI technologies like Microsoft 365 Copilot, Copilot for Viva Learning, SAP SuccessFactors that we recently announced. So it's very exciting and lots of opportunity.
Absolutely. All right. So you've got that end of support, you've got the longstanding partnership. So let's talk a little bit more about this year and what the key strategies are that Microsoft will be focusing on to tap into that SAP migration market. And how does that approach both encompass the migration, but then also the innovation with the Microsoft Cloud?
It's a great question. There are two simple things, as you quite rightly pointed out. First is the migration and modernization, whether it's with native or RISE options. And so those customers have choice whether they want to pick one or the other, and we give them through our programs and offers between us and SAP to our partners to use. The second is to extend beyond the migration. And so leveraging all the new analytics, insights, AI, and really the power of the Microsoft Cloud to take that data that is now in the cloud, reason over it, and create brand new applications and experiences. So whether it's integration on productivity, security, AI, or analytics, we got them covered. So it's a great opportunity.
What would be really interesting to hear about is if you could share some success story that has demonstrated a company that's gone ahead and utilized Azure's capabilities for SAP migration and then achieved those performance improvements and strategic advantages.
Yeah, I love talking about our joint customers. So I think I'll pick Unilever, who leveraged Azure to migrate to the cloud and innovate with their SAP systems. To support its business needs and more than 3.5 million daily users, Unilever wanted to exit on its on-premise data center and accelerate its digital transformation efforts by moving its critical SAP and non-SAP environments to the cloud. The company migrated its entire estate, including its 4 core SAP enterprise resource planning systems, to Microsoft Azure in record time of just 18 months, in close collaboration with several key system integrator partners, which is a great opportunity, of course.
Absolutely, yes.
With its move to Azure, Unilever realized significant performance gains, including overall 20 to 30% improvement for critical business processes. And they also leverage one of our recent innovations, the Azure Center for SAP Solutions, for automated cost analysis and recommendations for best practices. The company is now focused on the future of the cloud, including almost everything that we mentioned before: Azure's data services and Power BI, and extensive visibility across their systems.
Well, that was a great example. Thank you so much for sharing. So can you discuss now ways we enhance the overall employee experience with SAP integrations and other productivity enhancing tools?
Yeah, certainly. We've made huge strides in empowering employees with familiar and efficient tools. We've streamlined the integration of SAP data into Microsoft Office and resulting in a smoother workflow for employees. Additionally, we've fostered increased employee engagement through integrations with Viva Learning, SuccessFactors, and LinkedIn. We've even taken a step further by seamlessly integrating SAP applications, resulting in enhanced productivity and improved collaboration with employees, customers, and suppliers. With our native SAP Teams integrations, customers can enjoy rapid access with minimal latency, top-notch security, and benefits of our industry-leading expertise in remote work.
So I know that back in July, there was an announcement, and pretty exciting. So could you just tell us a little bit more about that, the details of the offerings and how they're helping our partners maximize the opportunity?
Yes, absolutely. This is near and dear to my heart here. In July, we announced Azure Migrate and Modernize and Azure Innovate. Both these offerings provide resources and incentives for partners to help onboard customers to Azure, all in one place. Azure Innovate is a net new $100 million investment focused on AI, analytics, and new app development, while Azure Migrate and Modernize, where we tripled our investment, is intended for migration and modernization scenarios like Windows and SQL, and of course, SAP. These offerings include resources and funding for pre- and post-sale activities like assessments, pilots, and implementations. To access these offerings, partners can use their well-understood and known partner center to get approvals and go from customer nominations to execution very, very quickly. So we're getting lots of great feedback from these offerings since July, and we encourage partners to take a look at them and leverage them.
Excellent, and I'm sure we'll provide those resources as part of this episode so they can take a look at those. So this has been a great conversation, lots of information for our partners. So if you were to step back now and just think about what are the 3 key things that our partners should take away from what we've talked about today?
Yeah, I'll set aside like the opportunity, because we've discussed that at length.
Yep.
Really think about helping customers decide which path they want to go down, whether it's native or RISE implementations. Those are quite distinct, complicated decisions. And so there's lots of opportunity there, but lots of consulting needed for customers to help them on those business decisions. And then once that has been done, what do customers want to do once they get in the cloud? Do they want to apply AI or analytics or build new applications on top of it? So again, rich opportunities. And then leveraging those offerings that I mentioned and the investments that we've made to help them help their customers get to the cloud. So those are the three things I'd call out.
Excellent. That's really helpful. Thank you so much for sharing all these insights. It's clear that there's plenty of advantages to running SAP workloads on Azure Cloud and the many resources that are available to support and empower our partners and customers.
Yeah, thank you. It's great being here today. And of course, it's a great opportunity with SAP and all our partners to go capture this and make some happy customers.
And that wraps up our session for today. Thank you so much for joining us.
And that wraps up today's episode. Don't forget that this episode is a part of a series featuring some of our most experienced and innovative global executives, packed full of great insights and examples of how to make the most out of working alongside Microsoft. If you haven't already, make sure to check out our other episodes. No matter your industry or area of focus, the Microsoft Global Partner Enablement team is here to enable you and your teams to achieve more. If you want to hear a little more of this episode, we have a podcast which has some more of our discussion and some bonus content. If there's an area of cloud innovation you'd like to hear more about, please send us a note at salesenablement-gsi@microsoft.com so that we can create content that meets your enablement needs. Thank you for listening, thank you for engaging with us, and thank you for being a Microsoft partner. We'll see you on the next episode of the Microsoft Cloud Executive Enablement Series.